All right. Hello, my dear friends. Operator Starsky here. Today I'm joined with my friend Christoph. He's currently in Munich, and there is a big rally taking place. I think that he will talk about it himself in just a while. Christoph, hi. It's a pleasure to see you, my friend. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and where are you? What's going on there?
Hi, Andre. It's so nice having me. I'm really pleased. Thank you very much. I'm right now in Munich in a passage. It's a shopping mall, and it's absolutely close to the big rally. And over there, it is so loud that we cannot talk there. That's why I'm here in this passage. And yeah, I'm married to a Ukrainian woman. I know the situation of Ukraine quite well since the beginning. Since 22 years I'm married, and that's why I know more about the Ukraine than the ordinary German. And I think it's my real duty to tell my compatriots in Germany about these beautiful people and about the situation in Ukraine. And I do everything what I can. I'm a musician, and that's why I started a big video project. It's called WePlayForUkraine.com, and there are famous German and Ukrainian orchestras and musicians from those orchestras play together the Ukrainian anthem and the European anthem in one video to show musically that it is we are united and we belong together, including the opera Odessa and the choir. So please watch this video too if you want and share it. And out of this video project, We Play for Ukraine, there started another musical project, the Trio for Ukraine. With this trio, we are playing on this rally today and on other events. And I also started now finally a talking channel, just as yours, Andriy. And I called it Talk for Ukraine. And I want to talk also for Ukraine, about Ukraine. And because I have the feeling we don't have some YouTube channels like that, like yours in Germany. We have only more or less analytical channels. I think it's absolutely necessary that we have also the possibility to talk really pro-Ukraine, pro-European, pro-peace. And today on the rally, I met a lot of interesting politicians who are so good. We have really good politicians too, not only bad politicians, not just like our Chancellor Scholz, who is really dumb. I cannot tell this now in public what I think of this. Anyway, but maybe I talk too much. Maybe you have already questions, Andriy.
Just a small remark for our viewers. Currently, there is the Security Summit taking place in Munich. Yesterday, President Zelensky arrived, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and a lot of representatives of other countries. And currently, there is also a pro-Ukrainian rally with approximately several thousand people after this interview, because Christoph has a bit limited time. After the interview, I will show you, my friends, the video that Christoph made during that rally. You will see yourself. And I have a question, Christoph. What kind of politicians are taking place in that rally currently, and what kind of messages did you hear during this rally?
Yeah, for example, I just met Roderich Kiesewetter, who is one of the most clear-sighted pro-Ukrainian politicians. He's from the Christian Democratic Party, CDU. Roderich Kiesewetter had a very good speech about just how it is going on, that we are really now on a brink of we have really to wake up. We have to deliver towers. We have to give Ukraine all the support. We already should have done that all the time before. So him I met, and I also will have the chance to talk to him on my channel. I just gave him my business card. And Marie-Agnes Strack-Zimmermann from the FDP, she is also one of the best members of, now she's member of the European Parliament. And another guy, his name is Robin Wagner from the Green Party. But what touched me most was the appearance of a man, of a Ukrainian, very, very good man, and he lost his whole family. Yaroslav, who lost his wife and his 3 beautiful daughters. I was so touched, and I met him too. Yeah, so that's what I have seen up to now, and yeah, many Ukrainians are standing in this rally and showing that their solidarity to Ukraine, and that we need to defend. We must make a defense union against the Russian aggression, and it's not fair that only Ukraine has to fight all alone all the time. It's impossible. That was the tenor of those politicians. Yeah, we have good politicians too in Germany. Unfortunately, they are not in the power in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
things may change. Were there some specific messages that you remember from the speeches that took place today?
I didn't understand, please.
Were there some specific messages, specific narratives that you heard during their speech?
Yeah, for example, it was Roderich. It was I think Marie-Agnes Strack-Zimmermann from the FDP. All of a sudden, I heard her shouting "Taurus, Taurus," and she says, "We need Taurus. This weapon must not be withheld." And she also said, and the other politician, Roderich Kiesewetter too, that our weapon industry has to start now to produce. It's already too late. We have lost so much important years, and these messages, I mean, they are preaching that already since 3 years, or since 2014, some of those. But it seems to me that finally now, in the end, after this horrible speech of J.D. Vance yesterday, the Europeans, because they met him, and they saw also this, what he said. Now the Europeans start to wake up somehow. Because they are kicked out of the Hotel Mama. I always use this example, Hotel Mama. Europe is some like a fat guy who is sitting in the house of his parents and not working, and Mama will take care of him and wash his clothes. So now this guy is kicked out. So this is the good thing about Trump and Vance, that they kick us out of Hotel Mama. So we have to wake up because we are now in the cold.
Unfortunately, sometimes in order to develop, we need to go through some crazy crap. But yesterday's statement from J.D. Vance was interesting when he said that the main threat is not China, the main threat is not Russia, the main threat is literally inside of Europe. What do you think about that?
I think this is completely insane. This shows me that J.D. Vance has no clue about what is going on in Europe, and also the German defense minister, Oskar Pistorius from the SPD, which is not a good party because it's the party of Chancellor Scholz, but our defense secretary, Oskar Pistorius, is a good guy. And he said really in a very clear tone as a response on Vance, this is unacceptable. Because we are a democratic country, we are a democratic Europe, and in our country, everybody has the right to say what he wants, even parties like the AfD, and they can make elections. That's democracy. So it was a really clear answer. This is another topic I would like to talk with you about this with a little bit more time, because here during the rally it's not so nice to talk in a profound way. But yeah, that was refused by Vance.
Yeah, it would be interesting to hear your thoughts more on their speech. On the other hand, there was another statement made by J.D. Vance that they're looking for a solid and lasting peace deal with Ukraine, which also provoked a response from the President Zelensky that he will only talk with Russians from the position of force, because again, Ukraine was invaded. Ukrainians don't have to give up anything. It's actually Russians who need to be held responsible for their crimes.
Yes, it's also absolutely not acceptable that the Ukrainians are excluded from talks that the Americans are going to talk together with the Russians about Ukraine. That's impossible and that is unacceptable. And it's very clear that also the Europeans now woke up and say, no, you Americans don't have the right to talk about Ukraine and us, Europe, and without us. And that's why I think now this a very cold and freezing moment from the Americans, who are from my from my point of view, they are insane, but it makes us here wake up, and that's the good thing about it. And we just have to. It's one dangerous thing because due to the Russian propaganda and due to the infiltration with false information in our info space, due to that, is such a big chunk of democratic parties now taken away, and the bad parties, the AfD, Alternative for Germany, Alternative for Deutschland, they have now about 20 something percent, maybe 25, which is insane too. And I am really afraid that after the elections next week, those parties, and there is another party, Wagenknecht, Sarah Wagenknecht, communist and pro-Russian totally, and they have the chance to overcome also the 5% hurdle. And that's why that's not easy that our parliament is infiltrated by those pro-Russian forces now. And that's what also happened in the United States from my point of view. I think also the Trump administration and Trump himself and Vance, they are also puppets of, puppets not, but they have no clear sight on geopolitics, and they have no knowledge about Europe and history and Ukraine, and that because they don't have this knowledge, they are open for propaganda and disinformation. And that's why I think it's dangerous when Putin and Trump, they are talking bilaterally. So this is not an easy situation, and Ukraine is the only country. I think Ukraine will be our rescue in Europe. It's not the other way around. Not Ukraine must be rescued by Europe. No, it's the other way around. It's my opinion.
Thank you very much. No, thank you very much. I think in the future we gotta make a different stream and talk more about it, because I have multiple questions. This rally was very interesting. There was also a panel involving different people, and Timothy Snyder and everybody else. So I think that in the future we can have another stream and talk a bit more about it. Do you have more time, or do you have to run?
No, I don't have to run. What's the exact time in the moment? I don't have a watch here.
It's 14:58.
So in 2 minutes the bells start to ring, and then we should stop. But yesterday I met Pavlo Klimkin too, and he will also talk with me on my channel. I'm happy about that. And Timothy Snyder I met too, but he has so many people around him. So I didn't make a contact with him really. There were some interesting people I met too yesterday. So let's carry on. That's interesting. As a musician, I am on a stage where there are people and I can meet them like that. That's interesting. And I say hello to all your audience who are watching now. It's great. Operator Starsky, Andriy, I was really happy having met you. And hello to all your audience worldwide, or wherever they are. And please check also Talk to Ukraine, my new channel. No, Talk for Ukraine. It's called Talk for Ukraine. And the video project, WePlayForUkraine.com. I'm happy to join also in this team.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I will add, after the stream, I will add the links to the description so people could find your resources as well. And thank you very much for streaming for us. We will talk more in the upcoming streams.
Great. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you so much. Be safe. Dear friends, what can I add to this? So currently there is a rally, and I promise to show you the video from the ground. You will be impressed, I hope.
Here, this is the view from stage here on the big rally in Munich, where we have about 2,000 people in the moment. It should be more later on. The rally will last 4 hours until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It just started an hour ago, and famous politicians have been here. Marie-Agnes Strack-Zimmermann from the FDP party and Robin Wagner from the Greens, and other activists are also talking. And it's going about NATO, about membership of NATO of Ukraine, which is in the moment not possible, and that we should introduce European European military alliance to protect Ukraine and protect our freedom in Europe. So it's about all that, and we are really standing for Ukraine. Slava Ukraini.
So, my friends, this is how it looks like. I hope you enjoy. Really wish I was there. Yesterday, my colleagues from the UATV asked me whether I'm going to Munich. Actually, it's like a 6-hour drive from me, and I'm like, should I be there? They're like, no, there will be hundreds of our journalists. But anyways, guys, pleasure to see you in the chat. We have people from Denmark, Germany, United Kingdom, United States, and I would already like to address the commentary from JD Mako. Don't apologize for being a decent person, because it's not about the people around you, it's about what you feel inside. Don't ever apologize for being yourself, for being a decent person, because if there is one warrior able to fight for the right cause, this is the proper thing. Oh my god, I broke everything. So also we have Netherlands, Betsy, hello, and Finland as well. Okay, so as usual, we have people from all around the world. I would like to briefly mention what we heard yesterday during the Security Summit in Munich, because a lot of statements were extremely interesting. One of the statements was made by Pistorius, Minister of Defense of Germany. He said that new government of Germany will have to lead the coalition for supporting Ukraine. That is extremely cool, because Minister of Foreign Affairs of Germany also yesterday was very much based when she said that Berlin rejects the idea of Trump to return Russia back to the G8, currently it's G7, after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Because why should terrorists be members of such organizations? That was a very interesting, statement by President Trump. Of course, very hard to comment on this. Also, another interesting thing was that President of Germany, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, said that he basically warned TikTok and Twitter of Elon Musk about consequences if they continue intruding into the internal politics of the European Union. Another interesting statement was made by President Zelensky, who said, I will only meet one Russian person. I will be only meeting Putin. He said that he rejects meeting Russian representatives, whoever they are, but he doesn't exclude the idea that he will be meeting Putin. He said only after the plan with Trump and with Europe is approved, only after that we will meet Putin to finish the war. Only in this case, President Zelensky is ready to meet Putin, and not making some alternative concession platforms, not participating in those, because they are absolutely ridiculous. J.D. Vance again stated some. I'm trying really hard to literally not to criticize them, because you can see it yourself, my dear friends. I can criticize them for what they speak about Ukraine, but on the other hand, when they absolutely don't mention Ukraine in their speeches dedicated to the situation of Ukraine, he talked, I don't know, like 10 minutes probably, and he mentioned Ukraine briefly, and then he talked about the main threat coming from the Europe. Maybe it's like, Freud could explain it. It's when you speak literally what you feel, like, yes, main threat is democratic European Union, while everybody else, including beautiful Russia, probably doesn't seem like a big threat for the for J.D. Vance. So, Minister of Defense of Germany, Mr. Pistorius, said that it's absolutely ridiculous to compare the European democracy with authoritarian regimes, as he did. He said that in our democracy, every thought can be heard, and we also allow such parties, sometimes extremist parties, such as AfD, Alternative for Deutschland, to participate in the campaigns together with other parties, and this is a true democracy, which I completely agree with. Like, it's 100% true. And he said that even Alice Weidel, the main candidate from AfD, you can see her in prime time on the German television, because she has right to speech as one of the candidates, which is, again, it's absolutely normal, right, in the normal country. So Vance told Zelensky that we don't want peace that will bring to a conflict in several years. Not sure if he was talking about Ukraine in NATO or he was talking about something else, because Marco Rubio was more clear 3 weeks ago, I believe, when he spoke in Senate about the situation in Ukraine, and he said that there is big risk that if the conflict is frozen, then Russia may regroup and replace its losses in vehicles and personnel and attack Ukraine once again. So we gotta make sure that nothing like that happens. And J.D. Vance, yesterday during meeting the Ukrainian team, he said that Washington wants the lasting peace. He said that he's sure that there will be a lot of talks between Washington and Kyiv in the upcoming days and weeks and months. Also, Zelensky said thanks to the United States for supporting Ukraine, and he said that he keeps he keeps working on stopping Putin and stopping the war. Generally, why do we have so many talks on the Russian television, for example, about Trump trying to settle the war with Russia? Why do we hear about this on the Russian media? Because on the Russian media, they literally talk about it every day. The reason for that is because Russians keep pushing the narrative that Ukraine is a puppet state of United States. I laugh so much when people from the Trump's team that literally support Russia, they say that Ukraine is fighting a proxy war because Ukraine had a coup, and coup was organized by Obama and stuff like that. I would sincerely like to thank Donald Trump that we had many international military exercises with the United States personnel during him being a president of United States back in those days. Thank him for different weaponry, javelins, because if you think about his role in this, then probably he's one of the, puppeteers, right? I'm just kidding, of course. The real thing is that people don't really understand that Ukraine is not a puppet. Ukraine makes its decisions. A decision of the United States not to accept Ukraine as NATO member. We are grateful, of course, but no thanks. We will keep working on this, and we will try to become NATO member anyways. NATO is a good ally, but we decide our fate, our future ourselves. And one of the reasons why Ukraine was invaded was because Ukraine was not a NATO member. It's a really obvious fact that I don't even know why I'm mentioning it here. So yesterday, president of Italy also compared Russia to Nazi Germany, which was unexpected, but I confirm and agree. So he said that this was the project of the Third Reich in Europe, and current Russian aggression against Ukraine has absolutely the same nature. The president was talking about the invasions, about the wars that were caused by the Germany and by the Soviet Union that led basically to the World War II. So President Mattarella basically compared Russia to the Nazi Germany, to the Third Reich. And Prime Minister Meloni also supported the statement of the president, which caused extreme butthurt among Russians on the Russian media. I literally laughed my ass off reading those commentaries. The spokesman for the Russian Foreign Ministry, Zakharova, she said that I don't even know how to translate how she called it. It's like ridiculous fantasies that make all Italian nation look bad. Oh my God. Small off topic also, my friends. Yesterday, and I really like to share this. I really hope that I will be able to. Yes, no. No, I won't be able to. But yesterday we returned 8 Ukrainian miners from the Russian occupied territory, which is extremely cool. Unfortunately, cannot transfer this photo onto the screen for some unexpected reason. What else? So yeah, J.D. Vance, we already mentioned. He said that the main threat currently comes not from China or Russia, but from democratic European Union. And people who watched him, especially Klitschko, I saw his face. It was legendary, seriously. Honestly, I don't really believe that J.D. Vance is a Russian puppet, okay? I don't believe this. But what I honestly believe is that they have absolutely zero understanding what's going on. I believe, again, can be wrong, but I believe that eventually, after making a lot of different mistakes and stepping on the shovels and on the rakes, They will come to proper decision and proper understanding, but it will take time. Considering that the main spokesman, their main supporters are like Tucker Carlson and Tim Pool. Tim Pool, by the way, renewed his channel on a YouTube, and now it's a sponsored channel. Check this out. 16th list of sanctions of the European Union will be placed on the Russian so-called shadow fleet. It will be placed on Russian oil production and also the captains and the crews of those ships. That is according to President Zelensky after meeting the Prime Minister of Denmark, Mrs. Frederiksen. Senator Lindsey Graham yesterday, again, I love this person, but it was kind of cringy. He said that, and it was true, he said that if Ukraine was in NATO, Putin would not attack Ukraine in 2014. 100%. I completely agree. But he also said that is why we should say to Putin, if it will repeat, if it will continue, Ukraine will become a NATO member very, very fast. I don't know what else should we expect from Russians to get accepted to NATO, considering that yesterday they attacked the Chernobyl power plant with a drone. Thank God, without serious consequences, but it was a direct hit, my friends. The drone that was flying at the altitude of 85 meters crashed into the sarcophagus. That is, by the way, approximately 70 meters tall. I can be wrong. I know that the power plant is approximately 70 meters tall. So that is absolutely insane. Minister of Defense of the Minister of Department of Defense of the United States yesterday said that we should understand how Ukrainian borders will look like during the negotiations. I think Ukrainian borders actually didn't change much if you respect international law, and if you are not an international war criminal and terrorist like Putin, who thinks that he can do whatever. So I believe that you support the idea that the Ukrainian borders are the same as in 1991. They never changed. They are the same on the maps. They are recognized the same in the United Nations, and they are also recognized within current Ukrainian borders by the memorandum of 2003 that was signed by Putin himself, including Crimea and Donbass as parts of Ukraine. What else can I say? Ursula von der Leyen yesterday also said that Putin showed that he indicated that he wanted to meet, but on which condition? He wants to show that he needs to show that he also needs peace. He wants to show that he rejected his own ambitions to destroy Ukraine, which he doesn't show, my friends, because yesterday we had a combined drone attack that was, I believe, 130, 140 drones involved in the attack on Ukraine. Multiple missile strikes, again, Russian drone striking the Chernobyl power plant. And very interesting question, by the way, was raised yesterday in the commentaries when people were talking about it. And one of the theories was that it may be like a warning for Germans. Because Germans are kind of anxious about the nuclear energy and everything related to nuclear physics. So it may be a warning for Germans, considering that there is upcoming elections in Germany. Please let me know if you think that this may be the case. But generally, I believe that Putin does it because he can, because he understands that the world will not react. He knows that he destroyed the Kakhovka Dam. The world didn't react. He knows that they started the fire in those cooling towers of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The world didn't react at all, and he knows that he may strike whatever he likes in Ukraine. Chernobyl nuclear power plant, I don't know, Ukraine, Kiev Dam. Nobody will react whatsoever. So that is why he does what he does. He spreads terror, he demoralizes people because he shows that he can do that. Of course, he could easily destroy the Chernobyl nuclear power plant if he wanted. But on the other hand, guys, hundreds of drones are striking Ukraine almost every single day, and our air defense somehow manages to shoot them down. Yesterday, also, President Zelensky talked to American senators, and he said, as a result of this meeting, he said that the United States will continue supporting Ukraine, and that is something that we can see nowadays because the weaponry keeps coming to Ukraine. We can see multiple airplanes coming to Poland. So in this regard, it's more or less fine. Thank God. What I can tell you in addition to this. Yermak, advisor of President Zelensky, said that any sort of negotiations without forcing Russia to peace will not work. And again, it's an obvious fact. Yeah, we all know about it. He said that our mutual goal is to make Russia face responsibility. The aggressor should pay for everything that he committed in Ukraine. And he talked about it during meeting the US envoy to Ukraine, General Keith Kellogg. So those messages, when you read different narratives coming from J.D. Vance, Keith Kellogg, Marco Rubio, Trump, it's so insane. It's like I'm watching this and I want to scream, guys, have some kind of common communication strategy, please. Because it's very, very hard to analyze it when you talk about Ukraine possibly becoming part of Russia, while you talk about not letting Russia strike Ukraine again in case there's a ceasefire. Please, be more serious. Come on, people are watching. And also, Security Service of Ukraine yesterday showcased the photos of the drone that hit Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It was a Shahed, the Russian copy of an Iranian drone that Russians call Giran. So basically, I would really like to show you those photos, but I'm not sure why I cannot transfer them to the screen right now. I could. Oh, yes, I can. Oh my God, what happened? Friends, I think it's your magic. Your magic worked, actually. All right. So what do we have here? That's a bunch of... Come on. Do it. Just a second, my friends. Just 1 second. All right, so here it is. That is pieces of Russian drone, and here we can see the markings that we usually see on the Russian drones that Ukrainian air defense shoots down all the time. How come you cannot send this one? Oh my god. Just a second, my friends. I will fix it for you. Yes, I can now. Yeah, so you can see the markings saying Giran. They paint their drones black, as you can see. If you look closer, the body of this control surface is gray, like light gray, and they paint it black. The reason they do that is because they mostly launch drones during the nighttime, so they want to make sure that it will be harder for them, harder for the Ukrainian air defense to shoot down those drones. What else I can share with you? Here we have another interesting picture of the engine of this drone. So we know that Chinese engines used in producing those Shaheds for Russians, and they even switched, like that one is basically very, very cheap and very unreliable, and they switched to even cheaper engines that don't require starters. So now they use those, and like, I wonder why. It's because they launch it. It's like a drone that doesn't need to land, basically. So Keith Kellogg said that Ukraine and Russia should take decision to stop shooting. He also said that United States will keep financing Ukraine, but we should stop the killing. So if you want to stop the killing, probably talk to the killer to stop killing people, right? Like, it's obvious. He said, he was asked a question, is there a chance for adopting a weak peace deal regarding the settling the war in Ukraine? So basically, he was asked, is there a danger that some kind of weak deal will be adopted that will lead to the escalation in the future? And he said that Donald Trump will not let it happen. He said we need to see the different stages. First stage is stopping the fire, basically acquiring the ceasefire, and then stage 2, 3, etc., etc. I don't really know if like those stages are developed as of today, and I don't really know if they even have idea of stage number 1 so far. Like, I'm not criticizing, I'm just lost a bit, I don't know. Kit Kellogg also said that the war in Ukraine must end sooner than in 1 year. And he also said that at the negotiation table, there will be Ukraine, but there will not be European countries. How the hell is that possible? I don't know. I don't know, my dear friends. He said that the United States will be a mediator or moderator between Ukrainians and Russians. How come you say that? How come you demand the European countries to invest more into defense, invest more into weapon production, etc., etc., and at the same time you don't invite them to participate because Ukraine is currently supported by almost 50 countries that send their weaponry, that send their goods, the humanitarian aid, equipment, vehicles, all kinds of stuff. And how come they will not participate in those negotiations? I have no idea. But it's his decision. So, Prime Minister of Denmark, Mrs. Frederiksen, said that if Ukraine doesn't join NATO, she will still receive the security guarantees that will not be smaller than those that other NATO members have. That is interesting. Thank you very much. I don't agree. After the Budapest Memorandum, I don't really agree to such agreements. So that's the news, my friends. Please ask questions. I will try to address them. Let's see if we have some of them already. So let me close this one. Yeah, there was a question if Russians are still calling that insane crap happening on the Russian side, coming from Russia, a special military operation. Yes, they do. Sometimes, of course, they already more and more start calling it war, but unfortunately, for those people calling it a war, there is still Russian law that forbids them from calling it a war. Even though some of the Russian spokesmen can do that, Putin himself already called it a war several times, but it's still special, very, very special military operation. I think Germany did not like Vance meeting AfD. I think nobody likes them meeting AfD because AfD is known for harboring a lot of different spies that were literally exposed just last year. There was a Russian spy, there was a Chinese spy. You can find it in the news, in Google. How many fat brown envelopes can you stuff in a cornflake packet? That's a good question, my friend. J.D. Vance said he could care less about Ukraine. Now he proved it, but what can we expect from J.D. Vance? You see, the thing is, and I noticed that when I talked to, let's say, people like J.D. Vance, like the brightest representatives of his target audience, right? They are extremely overconfident and ignorant. They don't understand what happens. In Ukraine, for example, they don't really understand the history of Ukraine. They don't see the parallels between what is happening in Ukraine currently and what was happening during the United States War for Independence. Like they don't combine because they don't have enough knowledge, and the reason they don't have enough knowledge is because they are so sure that they know everything. Dunning-Kruger proved this already several times, that such problem exists in the society. Sometimes you can see those guys. Why should we listen to Kellogg after Vitkov went to Russia instead? It's all BS. I agree. Again, guys, we can see different controversial statements coming from different sides. President Zelensky, after meeting Kellogg, says that, yeah, we should stop Putin collectively. Yeah, okay. Then Kellogg says that, no, there will be no Europe behind the negotiation table, only Ukraine. what it tells me personally, my friends, it tells that there is zero strategy currently available. There is absolutely zero strategy besides the strategy that President Zelensky offered. But the strategy that President Zelensky offered doesn't correlate with Putin's views. And because they respect Putin so much, they adore this beautiful democratic leader, so much loved, so he rules for more than 20 years already, and people love him so much, so they never protest on the streets, and he has like the most powerful army in the world, the strongest economy, and the most beautiful subways. By the way, that is very, very important. Not only subways, but also Lidl markets or Asham. Because they respect Putin so much for being a fucking terrorist. They, of course, need to give him a word. They need to listen to him. They gotta make sure that he's not worried that no, NATO is not expanding. Everything is fine. That is, again, just my opinion. Sorry, I could not keep it inside myself. So the main idea is that they don't have strategy whatsoever because currently they don't know what to expect. Mr. Witkov will probably return from Russia with some counter offers because when Trump says that Putin wants peace, Trump is right. Putin wants peace, but his peace is different from what normal people consider peace. For Russia, peace is decimating Ukrainian army, destroying Ukrainian sovereignty, annexing Ukrainian territories, making sure that Ukraine is not protected forever, and there are no international troops on the Ukrainian territory, and yada yada. So eventually, they can just, regroup and choke Ukraine when they feel like that is peace for Putin. And he's like, yeah, I want this sort of peace, right? And he's working on it. So one thing that I can clearly see is that no matter what Trump administration decides, Putin has a strategy. He has a plan. It's a long-range plan, and this plan will be executed throughout years. It's a military plan with specific objectives, with a purpose, and they will be trying to reach this purpose, this objective in Kremlin, whatever is the cost, whatever is the price. And the reason for that, of course, is because, unfortunately, United States at this very point don't have a vision or a concept of a strategy. It's a hard task. I'm sorry, but yeah, Marco Rubio acknowledged that. Yeah, it's a hard task, and it cannot be done instantly, which is why I respect Marco Rubio. What else? Let's check out the rest of the questions, shall we? Did everyone remember to like the video? Katy, thank you very much for the reminder. I will press like for myself. It's such a bad habit, by the way, when you like your own videos. Proxy war, they know nothing about military or strategy. 100%. 100%. Real proxy war is like so-called LPR, DPR, those quasi-republics ruled by Russians and organized in Donbass. That is a proxy war, 100%. This is how it works, because this is the foundation of hybrid warfare created and developed by Russians. This is how it looks like in real life. If you want proxy war, look at what happened in Donbass. The Clark Kent-looking dude talking about freedom of speech in EU was so bizarre. I agree on that, considering that it's not really his field of expertise, I would say. Like, being a press officer for my brigade, sometimes back in the days, journalists would ask me questions like, what's going on in Kherson? You know? And because I follow the updates, sometimes I would say, well, in Kherson, we have activities here and there, and our guys took this village, and Russians counterattacked there. And I'm like, it's in the news. Like, what else can I say? My brigade is not there. It's in the different part of Ukraine. And that very evening, the press officer of the National Guard calls me, and I realize I have sex for the very first time in years, because he said, like, what the hell are you talking about? Dude, you're a press officer of this brigade. Don't speak about what happens there. It's not your freaking job. And he's right. It's not your freaking job to talk about freedom of speech if your field of expertise is defense and weapons and logistics and weapon production. I hope you don't hate me for that, but like, it's logical. Do you, and if you know, does the average Ukrainian have faith in leader of NATO that he will always put Ukraine first, regardless of whatever the US scream about? I believe so, and Ukrainians do have this faith, first of all, because NATO is not just about the US, and second is because all the rest of the NATO members, like majority of them, they kind of support Ukraine. So just, I would say, several NATO countries don't really see Ukraine as a member, but it can be solved through diplomacy. But you would think that Trump would see the opportunity to turn the Russian steppe into a series of 18-hole courses. I don't know, Gary. I don't know much about golf. I don't know. I played mini golf only once. Should Ukraine start rebuilding a nuclear arsenal so it never has to rely on the US or Europe, which are torn by the Russian propaganda? It is possible, of course. I know that we have technical capabilities of producing, if not a nuclear bomb, then at least a dirty one. We have those capabilities, we can easily do that, but it's not our philosophy, pretty much. Yes, Ukraine feels betrayed that we gave up the world's third biggest arsenal of nuclear weapons for security guarantees that were basically a joke, right? Because whatever happens in Ukraine right now, it's nothing like security guarantees. Everybody knows that. We do feel betrayed. But on the other hand, it's not our philosophy. If Ukraine starts building nuclear weapons, then it will be a good signal for other countries to build nuclear weapons, right? And not all of those countries are ruled by decent people. So it will give a very bad example to the rest of the world. Sex tunnels. Sex tunnels. Speaking of sex tunnels, where did I see that? Ellie, did you send me the picture? Or was it somebody else? Who sent me the picture with the sex tunnels? Come on, guys. Oh my God, I cannot find it. Anyways, I'll find it next time. Sex tunnels. We should keep nuclear weapons in the sex tunnels. If America wants a trade deal for minerals, are they foolish enough to think Russia would keep any agreements? That is the truth. And also, currently, the deal was worth approximately $500 million. As far as I remember, however, Ukraine only received 177. It was not even received by Ukraine. Ukraine received 70-something billion dollars from the United States, and the rest were invested in building weaponry and logistics and yada yada. So they remained on the territory of the United States. But the deal was worth $500 billion, and according to our estimates, the resources contained in Ukraine, especially in the eastern Ukraine, are worth approximately $14 trillion. So generally, Ukraine can withstand that easily. We will see how it will develop, because again, at this very point, I see that the weapons keep coming to Ukraine. Again, our guys from the ground report that they have an F-load of ammunition right now, so they're happy and everything's cool. Sexy foreigner, only disco in Dubai is more fun. Disco in Dubai, it sounds so tempting. How do you cope with it all? My dear friend, I have no idea. Maybe it's, due to the military background, because after serving in the army, you don't really find yourself surprised. We have this saying that a person who served in the army will not laugh in the circus. And it's true. I know what to show you, my friends. Oh my god, did I save it here? This one is hilarious. That is everything you wanted to know about beautiful terror Russia. Where is this? Guys, just a second. You're gonna love it. Of course, it's not related to our topic much, but yesterday I was tempted, to show this one to you. Didn't I save it? Oh my god, I hate myself. I really hope that I did. Oh my god, here. Okay, guys, I will send it to you right now. I hope it works. Yes. So, you probably know, and let it be like a small relief for everybody, right? Because you will like it. So, you probably know that there were multiple strikes on Russian oil refineries, on Russian oil storages, etc., etc. Basically, Russia is losing. Soon this number will approach like 50% of their production capabilities of oil due to the strikes, which is not really good news for the United States, by the way, but it's a different topic. So Russians developed an extremely effective way of protecting their oblast of Ryazan from the aerial threats. And I want to briefly show you how it looks like, because you will find this amazing. So what Russians did is they sent their priests on a plane to pray over the territory of Ryazan. The title says, "Over Ryazan, the priests conducted an aerial an aerial pilgrimage to protect the city from the UAVs." And I think it's beautiful, seriously. Like, you can see the priests in the Russian airplane. What the hell is that? Is it IL-76? I think maybe yes, maybe no. Anyways, so they deployed Russian priests to protect Razan from the UAVs. Will it help? I have no idea, literally. The other day, they tried to deploy their priests to protect their forests from the fires. Then they deployed their priests to protect the territory that was flooded after their dam collapsed. And as far as I remember, the reason the dam collapsed, as the Russians explained in their amazing TV, was that the badgers, not the badgers, the beavers did it. The beavers. They blamed the beavers. Generally speaking, I think that I don't believe in conspiracies, okay? I'm not a tinfoil hat fan. But when you read shit like Nostradamus and alike, you often meet the mentioning of like Armageddon, of like the Satan that will pretend that he's like a messenger of God and stuff like that. There's literally Russia. Seriously, the mausoleum with Lenin on the Red Square. If I was into, all this like esoterics and stuff, I would say that there is literally a cult of necromancy or like necrophilia. I have no idea. But it's all there. Russian air defense is flawless. Absolutely, my friend. Not only because they have priests, and priests can remove the aerial threats using their Orthodox crosses and stuff, but also because Russians introduced this amazing way of shooting down Ukrainian drones and missiles using ground objects. So, for example, if there's like 10 UAVs, happy Ukrainian drones flying over the Russian territory, they literally use oil refinery to shoot them down. And it works. I admit, it works every single time. Hello, my friend. Yes, we are live. We are so live. Okay, what do we have? So what did Huilo talk about Trump in his bedroom last night with his pants down? I don't like overhearing such conversations made in intimate environments. Those, yeah, my friend. I just like. My thoughts exactly. Those misogynists always blame beavers. 100%. They always do. And Russia is basically the most misogynic place you can imagine. Homophobic and misogynic at the same time. Nostradamus. They just proved that God doesn't exist. If he did, lightning would have hit that plane. Oh. I would argue on this one because the dam that collapsed due to the beavers, freaking fires all over the place, oil refineries on fire. What else did they have? Shit like Crocus City shooting and stuff like that, of course. So when you think about it, if God exists, he also hates Russians big time. If Skynet existed, Skynet would definitely hate Russians, because you can see how many of them become better due to the Ukrainian drones flying over their heads. I was impressed to learn that more than 60% of all the Russian vehicles that were eliminated last year, I believe, they were destroyed using the drones. Also, we have some interesting statistic coming from the General Staff of Ukraine. Where was that? I will try to quickly find it. Chief of the General Staff of Ukraine confirmed yesterday that Russian losses in Kursk Oblast are close to 48,000 orcs. 20,000 of them are good. So you can see the correlation between dead and wounded in Russia. In Ukraine, it's approximately 1 to 8, 1 to 5, 1 to 8. In Russia, it's literally like every second one. Everybody must die. I still remember the commentary from some like Russian. He didn't pretend that he was a bot. He was too stupid to make an account, or he didn't know English, I don't know. But he was like, yes, we are stupid, we are angry, and we die in big numbers, but we will win. Oh shit! And that is basically the answer to why, for example, comparing to ants, human are more intellectual and more developed, right? That is literally the explanation. What was the difference between two species? Oh my God. You almost convinced me to become religious. My friend, if you come to Ukraine, you will have no other choice, because you would marry a Ukrainian person, you would be baptized in Ukrainian Orthodox Church and have a lot of kids, Danilo, Petro, and Bogdan. Why not? Like Andrew Mercado, for example. We planned his whole future. We already know how to name his kids. We know where to baptize them and stuff like that. You know, it's cool. It's a Ukrainian tradition. Russians forget one thing: beavers build dams, not destroy them. Maybe they have like different sorts of beavers in Russia. I have no idea. Like, it's Russia, come on. Maybe that. But what kind of explanation is that? Beavers destroyed a dam. That is like, you know, that is like Nazi in Ukraine. That is like American biolabs in Ukraine. That is the same sort of fantasy, literally. Well, maybe in Narnia, this is how it looks like. I have no idea. Central European Alliance, enhanced Lithuanian-Polish alliance like NATO, but without forgiveness for Russian mistakes. I agree on that, Gary, and I would really like to see that happening. But on the other hand, the only reason why not everybody have that mentality is because people should be reminded all the time about Russia. For example, do you know that there is this Russian house, like Russian office for Россотрудничество, or Russian cooperation, Russian collaboration, I don't know. So Russia has plenty of offices. They work in, I believe, 120 or 150 countries of the world. That is literally a foundation of Ruski Mir, Russian world, etc., etc. And they kind of pretend that they have this cultural and scientific exchange with other countries. In reality, what they do is basically they recruit spies, they conduct reconnaissance and stuff like that, steal washing machines, steal speed cameras from the highways. It's all those folks. So in Azerbaijan recently, one of those offices was closed. Azerbaijani said, "We don't want you anymore. Thank you, and fuck off." At the same time, in Italy, one of those offices opened. And from what the Italian president said, and from what the prime minister of Italy said, you probably understand why Russians decided to open that stuff in their countries, because they see that their influence in Italy is decreasing. However, Italy is very much influenced by Russia. Even despite the position of their government and most of their political parties. But in Italy, there's a lot of Russian disinformation, literally because of that. Literally because of that. Was this plane on the whole used Tupolev? Could be. I could not see the cockpit very well. To me, it looked a bit like. Wait a second. Let's see it one more time. Yeah, could be Tupolev. Absolutely. Because this stuff, like on the, like under the cockpit, a bit reminded me what they have on like IL-76, but on IL-76 it's much bigger and the cockpit kind of looks different. So yeah, I think it's Tupolev. Could be. Good morning, good day. Good to see everyone. Thank you so much, my friend. What else do we have there in the chat? Yeah, Tupolev 134 AK. Beaver tails, flattered toe with goodies on top. Oh my god. The swamp orcs have civilization. What are they best at? Imitating other people's stuff and looting? Aren't they the people of the Golden Horde? Yeah, that is one thing, by the way, because Russian Prince Alexander Nevsky, I believe he had a helmet with Arabic letters, actually, because he was a protectorate of the Golden Horde for many years. Generally, they adopted a lot of their traditions, like lying and looting and poisoning and assassinating from the times of the Golden Horde, because Golden Horde wasn't the most pleasant horde you can think of, actually. Beaver balls are good. I don't know. I don't know, seriously. The Trump delegation is loaded with American Russian propagandists. That's the thing. And, you know, when I look at current team of Donald Trump, it reminds me the team of President Zelensky big time in like 2019. It was so much like that. He was literally surrounded by all sorts of pro-Russian folks who saw some kind of hope in him. Maybe they were there like for this purpose. I don't know. Maybe they were there to deter other people. I have no idea. But there were a lot of folks like what was his name? Salohin. Like a comedian. He was an acquaintance of President Zelensky from the comedy club, but he was like vatnik, like real vatnik. And he worked with President Zelensky because he convinced the president that he can find the same language with the people of Donbass, because he was literally from that area. And there were so many problems with those folks until the day they just eventually disappeared from that team. They couldn't stay long there, but there were so many problems. That dude, I remember, we were soldiers, we were on a deployment, and he was giving a press conference in Kyiv, and he said, people of Ukraine want peace, but the fightful minority don't want the peace. They just want to continue fighting Russians. And we were like at a deployment, and that's an advisor for the president. And we were on a deployment, and we were like, did he just call us fightful minority? Really? So it didn't end well for him, because I remember that his ass merged temporarily with the foot of one of the veterans somewhere. Happens. Sometimes it happens, especially in Ukraine. Everybody's nervous. And he fell down, and he became a bit more moist in the area of his crotch. Because of that, I don't know what happened really. And it was like shown on camera everywhere, live. And then the Russian invasion started, because that was like 2019, 2020, and everybody hated that prick. So invasion started. I saw him. I was at a gas station. We were with Stas, with our sergeant major, and we were refueling. And I'm like, look at that dude. And the dude was there buying hot dogs. And it was February, it was like March 2022. And he was standing behind us. And everybody, because majority of the people who were at the gas station at that moment, everybody were like looking at him like fuck you. Just fuck you, And but the story is sad, actually, because he died. He started losing weight. He was like a big dude, and then probably because of the anxiety or something, he started losing weight and he died. So it's sad, but looking at people like J.D. Vance, looking at individuals like Tucker Poole or Tim Carlson or whatever, I realized that they have that problem. We already saw that in Ukraine. So, friends, don't worry, okay? Don't worry, everything will be fine. Hex's press officer is Tucker Carlson's son. Oh, really? That is so interesting. Oh my god. I didn't know. Thank you for this information. I gotta. Serhiy Sivoho. Yeah, that was the dude. Serhiy Sivoho. The dude who attacked a combat boot of a Ukrainian veteran with his ass, and then he spilled some of his juices on the floor on camera. Because sometimes, when you're on a deployment and you literally have no opportunity to go there yourself, I don't blame that veteran. I don't promote violence. We should always have good communication, but sometimes people just, literally jump with their asses on your feet, start beating their heads against the floor on their own. What the hell? Sometimes it happens, especially when there's Russians go absolutely crazy. Remember that dude, I believe it was in Brussels. It was 2022 or 2023 when there was a Ukrainian group with a Ukrainian flag, and then some Russian representative just came there and took their flag and went away. And then there was this brave Ukrainian man who rushed after this Russian prick. And Russian prick all of a sudden literally started banging his head against the Ukrainian's knuckles. How is this even possible? I have no idea. Russia is so much full of mysteries, my friends. I have no idea why they do that. That is insane. I hope that he didn't damage the knuckles of that brave Ukrainian man, of course. What more can I say? I'm not going to worry, just completely pissed off to the max. 51st state. Guys, wrong person to talk about it. You know everything yourself, okay? I share your pain or laughter regarding this. I'm with you 100%. 51st state, my ass. Some people actually in the comments, they said, why not buy a piece of land? And my question is, why yes? Yes, sometimes there were cases when, for example, United States would buy some piece of land from Russia, but it was the times when people would marry around the age of 14, and also they had slavery. So guys, what the hell are you talking about? Let's legalize slavery. Why not? If you want to buy countries, let's also legalize slavery. If you pay a person that wants to be your property, why the hell not? You can buy everything, which you can't. There is international law, and you should always follow the rules if you don't want to turn into Putin eventually, right? Uh, 51st state is a nonsense and a deep insult. I feel you. Seriously, I do. It's like Russia that wants to annex Ukraine. That is literally the same. They think, why not? Ukraine will prosper. Why did you guys bomb the nuclear place? Don't say it was Russia. So we do it every single time Russia wants to kill us. We kill ourselves. To not let Russia do that. We bomb our own houses. We bomb our own clinics, our children's hospitals, because we want to blame Russia, make them so much despised around the world. We rape our toddlers in Bucha. We throw our own civilians that we protect in the mass graves, because this is what Ukrainians do every single time Russia decides to attack Ukraine. Yeah, don't say it was Russia. Why not? Tell me the reason why I should not say that it was Russia, considering that it was a Russian drone that was intercepted. And oh my God, don't be fucking ridiculous. Don't say it Russia. Some dude in the comments said, just don't say that Russia did it to terrorize people. Yeah, everybody knows that Russia is an atrocious terrorist regime that terrorizes people. What else did you expect, dude? That's exactly what you should expect from Russians, that they will kill people, destroy dams, rape toddlers. Some of them are as young as 12 months old, and record that on camera, and put people in the mass graves in order to hide their war crimes. Yeah, that's exactly what Russia does. What did you expect? Everybody knows that. Welcome to the real life. I'm not saying it was Russia, but it was Russia. Russia is a terrorist regime, and by the way, we should all remember, my friends, that it's a fact. Love the sarcasm. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear Deb. That is something I actually learned from British people. I was a young and naive Ukrainian teenager before I learned Monty Python, and this is what I become. Blame the UK. It was not aliens, just saying 100%. Bro, we should fight. Fight? No, bro, we should not fight. Why? I don't want to fight you. Who will make those beautiful designs for my merch store? That, by the way, you can find in the description. Oh my God, friends! So you gonna love it. The other day, I received a package, and I freaking love receiving package from my friends and viewers and my family, because I don't do them. I don't do that often. So I received a package from CEF, from our friend from from Hamburg, and I received several stuff that I will sign and I will send back, so they will raffle it to fundraise for the DACH and for the 69th Sniffing Brigade. One thing that I will leave for myself, I want to show it to you, because this stuff is legendary. I think, by the way, Mirko. Mirko meant to shave, not to fight. He only missed one letter. Mirko, we will talk about it. So, one thing that I will leave for myself, guys, you gotta love it, is this mat, the mouse mat, that I find absolutely brilliant, because like I love it. I just cannot do otherwise. So this one will remain in my possession. I hope you don't mind. When my lady saw that face, she laughed for like 15 minutes straight, and the other day it was the same. So Mirko, remind me, who made that photo? Did I make it myself, or like, did you make that picture where that face originated? Because I don't remember. It was long ago. Oh my God. I don't know how it happened, my friend. You know, when I die, I want that photo to be on my thumb. Seriously. Mirko, you gotta remember this one. Always look at the bright side of life. Any new tattoos, Philip? I think I will have a new tattoo, like a shark chewing on a hand, because it's gonna symbolize a hand biter. After my criticism towards Elon Muscovite, a lot of people called me the hand biter because I bite the hand that feeds me. Because apparently Elon Musk sends me like chicken McFry every single day, to make sure that I don't die from hunger. So I will probably make that one. I always thought art made by soldiers would be a good fundraiser. I agree, 100%. Back in the days when, before the full-scale invasion, when you go to a position, for example, and back in those days, positions were more or less constant. So there's a brigade stationed there for a year or two, and then it's switched by another brigade stationed there for a year or two, and it was like that. So some positions, of course, changed, but generally they were stationary. So just so you could understand Ukrainian creativity, it's when you go to a position and you see, for example, like the trench. Okay, there are nests. There are your firing positions where you can see like your sectors, etc., etc., and then, like at some spot at the trench, you can see a not an orchard, but like mini farm. The guys growing onions and garlic, and it looks really cool because they make like this tiny fence made out of straw. And there's like this little flag, and they grow onions because whenever they have like borscht, for example, on a position, why not? They have homegrown or like position-grown onions, and then you go somewhere, and then you can see like a bunch of a bunch of used RPG tubes, right? And there's a guy sitting there smoking and coloring those tubes with like Ukrainian patterns. And you're like, the hell is this? And then you think, dude, that's art. Come on, don't be so much military, okay? That is art. People are having fun. So many cool trench gardens. Yeah. I saw them myself. We had, my God, we had onions on my position. We had some dude grew tomatoes, and I was impressed because, like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but generally it requires some skill to grow nice tomatoes. Maybe. Did you hear Trump and Musk accidentally fired all the people who oversee the US nuclear arsenal? Really? Oh my God. Well, let's say I'm not surprised. World War I, many trench art made of copper obuses. Really? Generally, there's a lot of creative people out there all the time, and you always need to have some kind of relief. People reading books, people watching movies if they can, playing games, playing World of Tanks while sitting in an actual tank or things like that. And of course, people creating different stuff. If the worst comes to the worst in the war and Russians return to Kiev, will you stay to defend it Stalingrad style? I think there will be not much of a choice, but Russians will need to bring a lot of troops. Kyiv is freaking big. There's like 5 million people, approximately, maybe more. And in order to take Kyiv, like the army that they brought back then, back in the days, during the first days of invasion, it was not enough, not even nearly enough. On the other hand, of course, if Russians managed to land all those troops, like remember that 40 miles long column coming from Belarus. So if they landed all those troops in Hostomel back in those days, maybe they would reach like Novobilichi, Svetoshin area of Kyiv. Maybe we would have some combat in that area. But again, that would be so not enough to take Kyiv. You need much, much more people. And another thing is that Kyiv stands on two banks of Dnipro River. So if you control one bank, there is unlikely that it is unlikely that you will have chance to control another bank. River Dnipro is approximately 1 kilometer wide. It's big. It's sometimes, I believe in some places it's almost as big as like a mile or several miles. So Kyiv is a tough place to occupy. You need a lot of people. Imagine how many people you need to occupy, like, I don't know, not New York maybe, but like Washington, D.C. It's a huge freaking city. Or, for example, Berlin. And I think that Kyiv is bigger than Berlin, actually. I might be wrong, but I think so. I've been to Berlin. It didn't give me an impression of being bigger than Kyiv, because in Kyiv, holy shit, I walk out of my house and I walk like 2 kilometers to the nearest supermarket. That was crazy. Not supermarket, but like open air market. It was huge. How is my skeletal orc body doing these days? I don't know. I actually miss him. I mean, he didn't call me for quite a while. Tasty tomatoes are not coming from supermarkets. I completely agree with you on that, my friend. I tried cherry tomatoes the other day. They are so good. Oh my god. Have you seen the patch from Viper? I didn't, but we will have Viper on this channel very, very soon. And not only him. Because there's a lot of really cool people. Dick Dawson, he always hosts the shills, but nobody invites him. He's so cool. He's extremely cool person. There's Slavi, there is Rudy, there's James. There's a lot of really cool people that I actually missed interviewing on this channel. And speaking of food, because we're talking about tomatoes, and logically, next thing will be the food. So the other day, I made... How do I even save the... Aha, here it is. Save here, please. Thank you so much. So the other day I was improvising with whatever spices I had in the kitchen, and I came up with spaghetti. So I found a perfect way of cooking spaghetti that tastes well, but I always suck at adding the proper amount of salt. Spices, yeah, it smells good, but salt, when I think that I add enough salt, it's usually oversalted. So I came up with this, and this, my friends, is a perfect spaghetti. Remember the last time there was like a perfect rice with fish, and this is perfect spaghetti with chicken. And this chicken, so you can understand, it tastes like almost like KFC. I spent some time surfing YouTube channels, right? Because I really, really like the way the KFC nuggets taste, and I spent some time surfing them looking for the recipe that would taste like KFC chicken nuggets. And Frank says, glad I'm eating right now. You're happy. You're lucky. Do you cook spaghetti without breaking Italian hearts? I don't. I break the heart, actually, my friend. So I found the like almost perfect recipe. It contains a lot of spices. It contains a lot of different spices. Let me place it like this. Oh, can you see me? Good. So this chicken, that one, it contains a lot of different spices, like a dozen of them. But in the end, it tastes perfectly. One thing that I learned, my dear friends, if you want to cook perfect chicken, you gotta soak the pieces of meat, at least for several minutes, in water, because like it soaks and it becomes like more juicy. I don't know how this magic works. Sometimes, of course, you can add things like soy sauce. And why should you use soy sauce instead of salt? It's because when you add salt, the meat starts losing the moisture, right? The juice. If you add soy sauce, it's the opposite way. It's like it gets absorbed by the meat. So that is something that I learned. So this one I enjoyed, and I can say that there's my head. So I can say that it tastes well. Like I am satisfied. I approve. The National Guard is. If your chicken has a dozen spices, that's one more than Kentucky tried 11 herbs and 11 herbs. Okay, wait a second. So masala, ginger, pepper, soy sauce, garlic. I don't even know about herbs, actually, because I don't really add them. But, like, okay, trust my word, it tastes like KFC, okay? It really does. KFC made with 11 herbs and spices. Simon, I think that is just marketing, actually. I think that is just, it's like Colonel Sanders, okay? It's marketing. It's a good story. I like this stuff. As a communications person, I like this stuff. But KFC ingredients are online. No way. They can't be. I thought it was this, like, come on, secret guarded by the National Guard of the United States of the state Kentucky. Anyways, okay, friends, I'm freaking hungry now, and I only blame myself. But I'm really, really happy that I had this opportunity to spend this time with you, my friends. We'll see you later. I think next week we will start with the streams on Monday. I will let you know. I'm not like today when I planned 20 minutes prior, but as usual, a couple hours before. And we will see a lot of very, very interesting people. And of course, we will talk about food. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Monday on the stream. Also on Monday, you will see the Frontline Focus with new updates. And as always, thank you so much for watching and be safe. My dear friends, bye-bye.